Indy 250 week continues here on the channel, and after an exhilarating weekend of Indy 250 qualifying, some of these drivers are back on the famed speedway, this time in a stock car. It's the BodyArmor Pro Series for the 5th race of the season here in 2024. And quite possibly our first real racetrack of the season. It's one of the bigger races of the season though here, and one that all 24 of these drivers want to win here today. It's the Indy 100k, 25 laps of action around the world's greatest racetrack here on the Tuesday leading up to the Indianapolis 250. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway once again. The first time you're hearing my voice here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway this week, but it won't be the last. We've got ourselves the Indy 250 coming up this Saturday. And I will preface by saying, at the time of me recording this, I have no idea who won the poll or who failed to qualify. So just keep that in mind as we move on throughout this race in my commentary here today. But I do know there's one driver looking to tie Zachary Fitzwater on the all-time wins list here today. And that's Nicholas Amadio, driving that number 48 machine. He won his 27th career race on the channel Friday night at North Wilkesboro Speedway in an exhilarating tire strategy race over there. This is going to be a bit different. Of course, no pit stops here in the BodyArmor Pro Series, and with that, these guys are going to have to race it out. But hey, you know what? Nicholas Amadio starts there in the 4th position. He's also our last race winner here in the BodyArmor Pro Series, getting the race victory 2 weeks ago at GNC Stunt Road. But this is a huge race here for all these guys. And like I said, one of the bigger races of the season in the BodyArmor Pro Series. With this being Indianapolis, this is a legitimate race for these guys. We have some goof tracks on the schedule, but then we got this one. And these guys are going to race it out here for these 25 laps to get a chance to kiss the bricks here at Indianapolis. Of course, it's not the big one that we're going to be seeing on Saturday, but a couple of these guys are not in that race, including our pole sitter for this one, Jesse Turner. In the 82 had the fastest lap time in the feature of Dirt Extreme 5, and because of that, he gets the pole position here in Indianapolis, and that's huge for him, looking to get his 26th career win on the channel. And you know what? He's in contention for this championship as well in the BodyArmor Pro Series. So you take a look at the point standings there. Of course, Nathan Stapleton. As a matter of fact, once you know it, the top 4 drivers who are starting here today are the top 4 guys in points. Nathan Stapleton, your points leader there by 9 points ahead of Thomas Troxell. Of course, Stapleton, this is home racetrack. I know he'd love to get a race victory here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Troxell there, only 9 points behind. Troxell's the only driver who has pointed in all 4 races so far this season. Nicholas Amadio, our last winner, 30 points behind there, and then Jesse Turner, 33 points behind, with Travis Crampton, 37 behind. So only 2 drivers have a mathematical chance of being the points leader at the end of the race. Of course, 25 points to the winner, and then all the way down to the 10th position, getting 1 point with the F1 points format. So not everybody getting points as always here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. You got to be top 10 if you want to have any shot at getting anything here today. And 11th through 24th, it really doesn't matter where you finish in those positions. But hey, it's going to be an interesting one here today, considering who we have starting up front. Jesse Turner, Thomas Troxell on the front row for this race with Nathan Stapleton and Nicholas Amadio. And then you got Blaine Keys and Reggie Fogelman there as well. Of course, Blaine Keys had a huge opportunity at winning GNC Stunt Road, but ended up taking himself out of that one in that battle with Nicholas Amadio, and Jesse Turner put him in the wall and ended his chance at even getting points over there. So, you know, Blaine's got a chip on his shoulder, but we'll have to see what he can do there starting from the 5th position. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And the 82 machine, like I mentioned, of Jesse Turner leading us off to the green flag here tonight. Behind those guys, got Stapleton and Amadio in row number 2. Of course, Nathan Stapleton going for his third win of the season. He won at Hillside and won at Coca-Cola, and he has a very good chance of getting win number 3 here today. Of course, Blaine Keys, Reggie Fogelman there in row number 3. We got the 16. That car is Christian Master, who is a past Indy 250 champion, to the inside of Travis Crampton there in row number 4. And then Ladovic Charette and Derek Hamill round out the top 5. We got Drew Webb and Igor Barreto there in row number 6. Justin Zeidel, Chase Harris in row 7. There's Marvin Alonso, Brad Stover in row 8. Stuart Gratton and Logan Williams in row number 9. Dylan Matthews and Matt Tuck in row 10. Tanner Parton and Caleb Rose in row 11. And then it's Trey Bartow and Joe Rudkowski rounding out the full field here from Indianapolis. It's a bit strange, not this being my first race of Indy 250 week at Indianapolis, first event at least, with Caleb doing qualifying and everything. Of course, everything I know for a fact was exhilarating during those sessions, but of course I don't know quite how it all went down. You all know as of the time of you all watching this race, and you know what? We're looking forward to see who gets the 11th Indianapolis 250 this Saturday at noon Eastern Time. But tonight, we got a BodyArmor Pro Series race to decide here at Indianapolis, and it's going to be pivotal towards this championship, especially if either Troxel or Stapleton win this race, because they're going to go into the summer with a huge advantage on the field in this championship race. But you know what? A win at Indianapolis is at stake here today, and all 24 of these drivers want to get that race victory. Jesse Turner is going to be the one who leads us off. The pace car's down the pit lane. Here we go. We're green flag racing in the Indy 100k of the BodyArmor Pro Series. Well, Jesse Turner is going to get off to a good start and lead lap number 1 here at Indianapolis. Thomas Troxel right behind him. Have Blaine Keys moving up there to the 3rd position. Christian Master. Nicholas Samadino trying to take 5th away from Nathan Stapleton. Not a good start for Stapleton there in the 97 as he is slipping back after starting in the 3rd position here tonight. But Jesse Turner holding these guys off. It's not been a good year for Turner on the channel in his return. Of course, struggling mightily over in the Wall Walk Cup Series, hoping to turn that around on Friday night. He's missed the Indianapolis 250, didn't even get a chance to sign up, which is a shame for him, but he's in this race. This is probably the biggest chance he has at winning a race all week, and he's able to pull away right there from Troxel as Blaine Keys moves to the inside. And how about Blaine Keys as of late? Of course, won the Wall Walk Cup Series at Auto Club a couple weeks ago. That Napa 400, and here he is with an opportunity at getting his first BodyArmor Pro Series race victory, and he's got a nose to the inside, and he is going to drive right away from Turner there in the turn number 1. Christian Master, Nicholas Samadillo, they're on Thomas Troxel right here. A huge opportunity for Samadillo to go back-to-back, and of course a huge win for him last Friday night in North Wilkesboro. And at the time of me recording this, I recorded that race the night before, so I am still all jacked up from that race. That was such an excellent race we had in North Wilkesboro, and honestly, probably cemented its date on the calendar for next year, because my goodness, what an event that was with the tire strategy. And you know what? Tire's going to be a huge factor on Friday in the Coke 600 as well, and you know Nicholas Samadillo is going to have an opportunity at that one. And of course, tire wear and fuel conservation, a big factor in the Indy 250 as well. And assuming he didn't fail to qualify, which I'm going to say that he is in the Indy 250, just to be safe. But if I'm wrong about that, my goodness, I'm sorry. Obviously, Samadillo definitely got to watch out for on Saturday. A 2-time winner in that Indianapolis 250. Here comes Stapleton inside of Turner as Turner slips back in the 82. And Blaine Keys pulling away. Now, this is a race. We have no pit stops, and there's no guarantee of a caution, so Blaine Keys could very well just pull away with this thing. And you know he's got a chip on his shoulder from what happened to him at GNC Stunt Road. Of course, he took that into his own advantage at Auto Club later that week, but then he flipped at North Wilkesboro, which, you know, it takes some skill to do that. And he lost some momentum over there in the Wall Walk Cup Series. Well, he's got a shot here, and Blaine's a guy who has 1 point on the season. 1 measly point. He'd love to multiply that by 25 here today. Well, let's just see if he can do so. He's got a good chance at doing that the way things are looking right now. Christian Master, though, looking very quick. Same with Nicholas Samadillo. They're trying to close in on this 99 machine, and we're pretty much single file throughout the entire field. The racing that we get here in the stock car compared to the IndyCar, the open wheel machines, is quite different. But I always love the racing that we get here in Indianapolis with these stock cars. And hey, looking forward to the Brickyard 400 later in July as well in the Wawa Cup Series. That's going to be a huge race, as it always is. Travis Crampton making moves on Jesse Turner. Oh my, that was a tight one there between Troxel and Zeidel, and Turner continuing to fall back in that 82 machine. He's just not up to speed with the rest of these guys. Of course, while it is equal ratings, you do have that range playing a huge effect. As Christian Master, oh my goodness, he was looking to dive bomb it there on Blaine Keys. Didn't quite get it right there. And the way it's looking right now, it looks like Turner might be on the lower end of that range here today, as he is struggling out there in that 82 machine. Troxel and Stuart Grattan inside the top 10, with Ludovic Charette holding on to the last point right now. First, Ludovic Charette in the 05 machine here for the Pro Series. He is the driver at Grattan Autosport, one of the two drivers. As for the race lead, Christian Master going to take it away here from Blaine Keys. And how about that for Christian Master? Pulling right up to Blaine Keys and taking that race lead away, but Blaine's going to have a shot to cross him back over. And don't look now, here comes Nicholas Samedeo. You know, what a month he has had on the channel. Of course, got that win at GMC Stunt Road, and then got the Cup Series win in North Wilkesboro the other night. And with this win, assuming Fitzwater did not win the Indy Road Course race, I still don't know the result of that. He's looking to tie Fitzwater on the all-time wins list, just like that. And, hey, you know what? One more win this weekend in the Coke 600 or the Indy 250, two races he could very well win. And Nicholas Samedeo could very well be the all-time winningest driver on the channel by the end of the week, if he can get it done here today, which is very possible. But Blaine Keys is going to be tough to beat here today. Master was unable to hold on to that race lead from him. And Nicholas Samedeo going to hold on to that second position for now. Nathan Stapleton comfortably in fourth right there, trying to extend his points lead on Thomas Troxel. Troxel has slipped outside the top 10 right here as Trey Bartow started 23rd, pushing Justin Zeidel to the inside of Jesse Turner. And he's looking to get his first points since whenever he got his 1 point that he got this season. He's, along with Blaine Keys, only 1 point on the year. And I know he'd love to get a lot more than that here today and maybe have a shot at getting this championship. You know, it just takes a couple of wins and some momentum, and you can really build something in this series. Master has gotten it back around Samedeo. I was just thinking, Trey Bartow won the first ever race we officially ran here on the channel. It was the Brickyard 400 in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series Season 1. He actually won here in Indianapolis. So Bartow knows how to get it done here around this famed speedway. The rest of these guys back here struggling here today. Logan Williams, Tanner Parton back in there, Caleb Rose as well, Brad Stover. Not a good day for a lot of those guys in the back. These guys have spread out quite a bit as Blaine Keys continues to pull away in this 99 machine, but Christian Master looks strong, so does Nicholas Samedeo. And Nathan Stapleton trying to keep up with these guys here. We'll have to see if that ends up being the case. How about Stuart Grattan? Grattan looking strong here today, which, according to my list, he's last in points. Of course, we got three guys who are technically last in points, with Chase Harris, Caleb Rose, and Stuart Grattan all failing to receive points up to this point in the season. But the 18 of Stuart Grattan in a good position to get his first points of the year. Ludovic Charette, Reggie Fogelman both in the top 10 there. Then it's Trey Bartow and Justin Zeidel. Turner's fallen outside of the points in that 82 machine after starting on the pole back up front. Christian Master trying to close back in here. These three guys are all on each other, and they're staying right with each other as at the moment here on lap 10 of 25. Master with a good opportunity getting the Blaine Keys for this race lead. And Nicholas Samedeo is there if they go side by side to possibly strike. And it's going to be interesting if this thing stays green. It's going to be between these three guys. No doubt about it. And if you remember that Indy 250 that Christian Master won, and I don't know if anyone really does, that race essentially came down to three guys pretty much the entire time. It was Master, it was Fitzwater, and then it was Lewis Stevens, I believe, who was the third driver in that pack. They had a massive wreck at the beginning of the race, and it came down to three guys pretty much the entirety of that Indianapolis, what was then 200, not Indy 250 at the time. It was a bit shorter back in the day. And you know what? We got three guys who look to battle it out for this one here in the Indy 100k. And that 16 to Christian Matter had a shot there on Blaine Keys. Couldn't quite get to the inside of him. And Blaine's going to be able to block that 16 for now and hold on to the race lead. But Master's going to have a shot going into turn number 3 right here. We got Nathan Stapleton, Stuart Grattan now That 18's quick. That 18 is looking really quick here. I'd watch out for Stewart as this race goes along. He's got plenty of time to get around Stapleton and get up to the front here. But tire wear is going to come into effect for these guys. Maybe not to the level that it did at North Wilkesboro in the Walla Cup Series the other night, but you know what? You definitely want to have a good advantage on those tires later on in the run, because that is going to be huge in being able to make those passes, because it's going to be harder to make the passes as the run goes along. Master's going to try to defy me, though. He's to the inside this time around, and he's got it on Blaine Keys here on lap 12. That might bring San Mateo in as Blaine stuck on that outside lane through the corner. Not necessarily where you want to be in the stock car. It's a little different in the Indy car, but in the stock car, there's very little grip up there for these guys. And Nicholas San Mateo looking to take advantage of Blaine Keys moving up on the racetrack right there. And how about Mr. Edge? You know, what else can you say about him? What else can you say about him? One of the greatest drivers ever to grace the channel. And, of course, he got that Daytona 500 in Season 2 and won that race by absolutely nothing, hence why we call him Mr. Edge. And, you know, they had a finish close, similar to that in the NASCAR Cup Series the other night at Kansas Speedway. You know what? Nicholas San Mateo did it first. And with all due respect, I do have to mention, Eric Powers did it first. And Trey Bartow will remember that one. In the Smooth Fest right before that Daytona 500, Eric Powers beat Trey Bartow by absolutely nothing. And you know, we kind of tend to forget that that happened. We always talk about Nicholas San Mateo doing it, but, you know, I have to give a shout-out to Eric Powers and what he did to Trey Bartow. And, man, what if Bartow had won that race? We would talk him. Bartow would be the Mr. Edge if he had won that race. But Eric Powers didn't really stay on as a driver beyond that season and kind of got forgotten, but he was the first one to actually do it. And then San Mateo went ahead and did it again in that Daytona 500, which really made things interesting. And of course, all the other moments in his career, 2 Indy 250 race victories. He got that Thanksgiving 500 win when he blew up across the line. That's when we started calling him Mr. Edge, because, you know, he keeps us on the edge of his seat. And, you know, I talk way too much about him, but, you know, I'm just fascinated by what San Mateo has done over the years on this channel, and nobody quite has the resume of Nicholas San Mateo. But there's one thing missing, and that is a Cup Series championship. He almost got it last year. He's got a good shot this year. We'll have to see if that ends up working out for him as the Walla Cup Series enters its second half of the season this Friday night. How about Christian Master in the 16? Got a Walla Cup Series win last year at Daytona in the Valvoline 400, but got moved back down to the Sprint Series. And here he is in the Pro Series looking to get a race victory against a lot of these full-time Cup drivers. So Master's in a good position here to get his first win in quite some time on the channel. He hasn't won in the Sprint Series yet this year, even though he's full-time. But you know what? He's got a shot here and maybe getting something done. But Blaine Key's still in contention, but how about this 18? Stuart Gratton is the fastest car on the racetrack. And, well, that fastest lap is not showing it right now. I think if you looked at the lap times currently, I think that 18's got some of the faster times. And here he is. He's closed up to Nicholas San Mateo, looking to get the 3rd position away from the 48 machine. And Stapleton able to hold on to the 5th position right there. How about Ladovic Charette up to 6th? Crampton, Fogelman, Bartow, and then Zidell holding on to the last point right here. Is a big battle for that last point. Sagar Barretto right behind him there. Joe Rakowski trying to get a point here. So many of these guys want to get at least something here from Indianapolis. We won't race again until Le Mans in the middle of June, and that'll be an interesting race, our first road course of the season, and the biggest track of the year for these guys as well. You know, we got a 4-horse race now for this race lead with 10 laps to go in this Indy 100k. Christian Master looking to pull this one off, and you know what? I feel like this 16 might be the fastest car. Blaine Keys used up his stuff a bit early on in that run, and he slipped up just a little bit right there. Nicholas San Mateo still there, but he really hasn't been able to get anywhere further than 3rd in this race. Then you got Stuart Gratton, who's now within a second of these guys. If he can get around San Mateo, knock these guys off one by one, he could have a shot at his theoretical teammate there of Christian Master. Those two cars, when it was the Cup Series a couple of years ago, were both under the Gratton Autosport banner. Of course, neither Master nor Gratton were a driver in that season, but you know what? I know Gratton wants to get the win as a driver. You know, we were talking the other day, you know, in the Sprint Series at Hillside. You know, it's been a long time since Stuart Gratton's won a race as a driver on the channel, and he had, you know, some chance in that one. He'll be in the Carolina 300 this Thursday night as well. And he actually has won the Coke 600 before in his career. So, you know what? He might have a good shot on Thursday night to get that one. He might have a good shot at this one, especially if these guys go side by side. Blaine Keys closing back in on Christian Master for the race lead. And then you got Nicholas Samadeo kind of holding Grattan up right now. That 48 might have used up his tires a bit too much right there. And he's going to be under fire from this 18 machine in a short while, I feel like. Blaine Keys, will he make a move on Master right here? Not quite yet. Not enough momentum off the corner. He's peaking just a little bit right there. Grattan is really close to this 48. He's all over the back bumper of Samadeo right now. And they're 3 seconds ahead there. The race leader 3 seconds ahead of Nathan Stapleton there, who is running 5th with Ladovic. Trey Bartow now ahead of Fogelman, and then it's Travis Crampton, and now Joe Rutkowski has taken the last point away from those guys. And we're at the point there where that tire wear is really coming to effect for these guys, and it's going to be difficult to make any move out here at Indianapolis. But Blaine Keys trying to get all the momentum he can get through these corners, have a shot on Christian Master. But once he gets to the inside, I think the floodgates are going to open. Sampadeo's closing back in here on the 99 and the 16, and so is Stuart Grattan. And Christian Master trying to fend these guys off. You know, all 4 of these guys, all 4 of them, 3 of them to be exact, were in the first season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. Nicholas Samadeo came in the next year, but all 4 of them have been around essentially since the beginning of this channel, which is definitely impressive. Then you got Ladovic Charette, who's getting passed by Trey Bartow, and oh no, did something happen to Nathan? Something happened to Nathan. Or am I having a bit of a skill issue, and are we having green flag pit stops? Because you know what? I said there weren't any pit stops in this race. But if you saw something at the beginning there that may have suggested otherwise, I might be wrong. And you know what? I didn't even bother to test it. I think those are scheduled stops for these guys. Either that, yeah, they are coming down here. We will have to make a pit stop in this race. We're just going to go ahead and go with it here. They're spread out enough where it won't be an issue. So no issue on Stapleton there. This is going to be an interesting strategy. You got some damage there on Derek Hamill. Not entirely sure what happened to him. I'm hoping the caution didn't come out. It did not. So Stapleton, the first guy out there. You got Master, you got Blaine Keys, you got Samadeo, and you got this 18 here of Stuart Grattan. All in a line right here. All 4 of them are going to have to come down the pit lane right here. Please ignore what I said earlier. I apologize. You will see that in the race info that there will be a pit stop, so I'll probably put that in all caps to remind you of how stupid I was. Christian Master has to be careful because he's closing in on this 97 here, who might be a bit off the pace. Oh, they're still staying out right here. This is interesting. This is interesting. What's going on with these guys? Was there... Oh, you know what? There might not have been pit stops. There might have actually been a wreck or something along those lines, and those guys had to avoid the accident and they scuffed their tires because there's no one else coming down right here. I don't know why all those guys came down the pit lane. I have no explanation for that. Stapleton was really the only guy top 10 who came down. He's not really gaining any advantage right now. We're going to have to see. Troxel came off the pit lane right there. He's trying to get back in the top 10 in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's going to happen unless these guys do, in fact, have to come down the pit lane right here. They're coming to 4 laps to go. And they're still staying out. I'm thinking that might have been what happened. Something must have happened to those guys because no one else is cycling down the pit lane. We see the damage on Derek Hamill right there. Is anybody else out of the race? No one else is out. Something had to have happened. Because I could have sworn that we were going to be good to go on fuel in this race and it wouldn't be an issue. And you know what? That's a very interesting thing. Well, whatever happened might have happened. You'll see in the corner of your screen. We're going to figure that out for you. I believe these guys are actually good to go. I really do. Now you have Zidell, Barretto, and now Matt Tuck in the last point because we had a couple of those guys who were in the top 10 have to come down right there. I don't know if debris was left on the track and they ran over it or what, but Christian Master is going to try to hold on and win this thing. And here we go with 3 laps to go in the Indy 100k at Indianapolis in the BodyArmor Pro Series. Blaine Keys is still right there on the back bumper. Will he get any chance of getting around the 16 for the win? Tire wear definitely coming into effect at this point. And that is playing in the favor of Christian Master, as the top 4 is still 1, 2, 3, 4. Nobody making a move. Here's a preview of this year's Brickyard 400. 2.5 years to go. 2.5 laps to go. It's been like 2.5 years since Stuart Gratton's won a race as a driver on the channel, so maybe he breaks that here today, but I don't know. These guys are really slowing it down. Sam Menino might have a shot on Blaine Keys for the 2nd position right here. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to make that move quite yet. They really have to check up there off the exit of 4. And Reggie Fogelman and Travis Crampton, who are 2 guys who had to come down the pit lane, are closing in on these guys, and that could make things a bit interesting. Nicholas Samadio is looking to make a move on Blaine Keys for 2nd. Will he be able to make that move stick on the inside? That's exactly what Christian Master wanted to see right there. You also got Fogelman and Crampton, who had to come down the pit lane. They got fresher tires, and they're starting to move their way through the field. Now, it's not near as drastic as what Jack Haas did the other day at North Wilkesboro. That was some crazy stuff what he was doing in that race. Sam Menino getting a push from Fogelman, but he's also going to get... he's not going to get past from Fogelman. He's going to let that 7 stay behind him, and if he can actually let that 7 pass him on the front stretch, he could have a shot at getting this win. Fogelman pushing Sam Menino here, and that 48 is going to have a huge head of steam on Christian Master with 1 lap to go here in the Indy 100k. How's it all going to go down? White flag for Christian Master here in Indianapolis. Oh, and Sam Menino's going to get passed right there by Fogelman, but the other side of that is Master's also probably going to get passed by Fogelman right here. But Sam Menino's stuck on the outside. He's going to get passed by Blaine Keys or close to it. The big question is, will Fogelman try to make a move on Master, and will that open the door for Sam Menino? We know Fogelman is quicker with those fresher tires that he had to put on. Of course, he has nothing to lose or gain at this point. And he's staying behind that 16. Christian Master in the 16 machine, only unless Fogelman makes a move in the 4 right here, which it looks like he will not. That is going to do it. Christian Master in the 16 machine is going to get the race victory at Indianapolis. Almost 9 years ago, he won the Indy 200. He's going to get another one at the Brickyard as he wins the BodyArmor Pro Series. Sam Menino will remain in 2nd place. That's good for him in the points. Blaine Keys, Stuart Gratton, Trey Bartow, Ludovic Charette, Joe Rutkowski, Igor Barreto, Herja Larvin Alonso, and Justin Zaidel all received championship points here today. The Indy 100k. Not really sure what happened to Stapleton and those guys and why they had to come down the pit lane. We'll get some notes on that one for you here. But how about Christian Master? A dominating performance here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to get it done here during Indy 250 week. And I know he's going to be happy about that one. A long-time runner. He almost won the first ever race on the channel. Was actually leading at the white flag of that first Daytona 500 all the way back in the day. Of course, we know Jesse Turner got that one. And he's also going to get the pole for Le Mans as well, which is huge because that's a road course. It's going to be tough to pass there. Igor Barreto, Joe Rutkowski, Blaine Keys, and how about Trey Bartow, the top 5 there for the Grand Prix of Le Mans, which will be about 3 weeks from now, roughly, middle of June. It's going to be a Saturday morning race for these guys. Same weekend as the 24 hours of Le Mans. Take a look at the rest of the fastest laps right there. Well, that was a unique little event right there, and I don't like showing this too much, but you're going to see a bit of what's going on there, and it looks like it just came down the pit lane. Now, it is possible that they did, in fact, run over something, because we saw that damage with Derek Hamill. I don't know why that was the case, why we saw those 5 guys come down the pit lane: Stapleton, Fogelman, Crampton, Troxel, and Turner. And for Stapleton, Fogelman, and Crampton, those were guys who were kind of running near the top 10, and they lost points because of it. And that's just interesting. That was just interesting. I'm wondering if they ran over something. I don't know. We had a green flag race in this one. I don't know. You tell me. You know, this game, it's really just starting to. It's just starting to really get on my nerves. You know, I mean, this year we've had so many different wacky and weird things happen, especially in the Wall Cup Series specifically, where it's just like, what are we doing here, guys? It's just all over the place. Well, hey, you know what? At least up front, those top 4 guys had no issues. They raced it out, and Christian Master held them off, and you know what? That was a statement win for Christian Master here in the BodyArmor Pro Series. See if he gets that momentum Thursday night in the Carolina 300. Of course, that's going to be a big race. It's the longest race of the season in the HERS Sprint Series. And you know what? We'll have to see. We'll have to see if he gets a shot at the Coke 600 with that one, because he's a guy that if you put him in the hot seat ride, you know, sure, I know there's no driver ratings, but you put him in that 11 machine with Groton Autosport. I mean, we saw what Corey Case did on Friday in that machine. Hey, this Friday, Christian Master could end up in a good opportunity. But hey, you know what? Regardless of the fact, a fun race here at Indianapolis, that's probably going to be the worst race of the week. And that says a lot, because you know what? We got some great stuff coming up here. Tomorrow, it is Freedom 50 qualifying. Thursday, it's the HERS Elimination Series, and then the HERS Sprint Series from Charlotte, a back-to-back doubleheader at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Friday night, or should I say Friday, we got Carb Day practice at 11 a.m. We got the Freedom 50 at noon, and then Friday night at 7 o'clock, we've got ourselves the Coke 600 in the Wall Cup Series, and then, of course, Saturday at noon, it's the Indianapolis 250. Once again, a huge thanks to Caleb. I know he still hasn't gotten any points in this series. Same goes for Chase Harris, but you know what? Huge thanks to Caleb for doing all that he's done this year with Indy 250 weekend, making it possible for all you guys this year. And hey, you know what? I'm excited to finally call the Indy 250. It's going to be weird going into that race with not doing qualifying and only doing the one Carb Day practice session. It's going to be like, huh, we're ready for this already? But hey, we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And we're going to bring Nat back in the booth along as well. Me, his first time, and hey, it's been a long time since we've had him, and hey, great to have him back in the booth there with Caleb for the Indianapolis 250. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Christian Master on his race victory here in the Indy 100k. Here are the points for the BodyArmor Pro Series after 5 races, and I will see you guys later.